So I imagine that this is going to be super quick, but I wanted to come on here and just talk through a counterintuitive sign that your manifestation is working. And the reason I want to share this is because a lot of people get discouraged with their manifestations because they can't see the signs that their manifestation is actually unfolding. And so then when they don't see any signs that it's working, they assume it's not working, they get discouraged, and then they quit before the manifestation has a chance to really happen. And so this is something that whenever this happens to me, I know that I'm on the brink of a manifestation. And I also have seen the same thing with my clients where like this will start happening and then all of a sudden really cool things will unfold for them. And so if you are experiencing this, this is a very good sign. Don't get discouraged on your manifestation journey because your manifestation is way closer than you think. So with all of that being said, if your plans are suddenly changing, that is a very good sign for your manifestation. And so this could look all kinds of ways. Maybe you were planning to go somewhere, you get there and the place is closed unexpectedly, and then you have to go do something else. Maybe you had a phone call with your friend and then your friend had to cancel and then all of a sudden you have more time in your day, whatever it might be. But like when things are shifting around in your schedule, that is a good sign. And usually the reason that this is happening is because you are on a new timeline. Like you are genuinely just, I don't know how else to say it. And I know that some of the times people will leave me comments and they're like, I'm not super spiritual, but I like you. But like, I'm not into all the like manifestation stuff. Well, obviously I'm a manifestation coach, so I'm going to talk about manifestation. But I literally don't know how else to say this aside from the fact that you're on a new timeline. Like I can't, there is no like intellectual way to describe it. That's how I experience it, is like I was on timeline A and then something shifted and now I'm on timeline B. And on timeline B, I don't go to that coffee shop. And so that's why when I get there, it's closed. On timeline B, I don't have that phone call. And so that's why my friend had to reschedule. On timeline B, whatever. And so because you're now on timeline B, because you're now on a new timeline, things are rearranging and you're seeing those things transform. And so again, this is a very good sign because this is a sign that you are getting closer to the timeline of your future self. You're getting closer to the timeline of your manifestation. And so if you've been noticing this, I want you to actually take a minute and ask yourself, what could this timeline shift mean for me? So if all of a sudden you get to your favorite coffee shop and it's closed, before you decide what to do, just take a beat and say, ooh, what does this mean for me? Does this mean that now I can go check out that restaurant that I've been putting off trying? Does this mean that now I can go home and really pour into myself and take a bath and like do yoga and be super cozy? Like, what do I want to do now that I'm on this new timeline and that I have this new opportunity of time and space opened up? And so it doesn't always have to be that things are getting rescheduled or that things are getting closed. It could also be that you have a new idea and you are deciding to rearrange your schedule. So if you made an appointment for, this afternoon at 3 and then it's 2:45 and you're like, actually, I'm not feeling like doing that appointment anymore. I want to go do something else, or I want to take a nap or whatever. That's a sign that your timeline has shifted. It really is that simple. And again, I cannot complicate this if I try. It's just, you're on a new timeline. You're on a new timeline. You want different things, or different things are happening around you. And so the way that you spend your time is shifting a little bit. And so just ask yourself, like, what might this mean for me? How can I show up as my future self here in this new scenario that I'm in that I didn't expect to be in? And so it also comes down to like how you meet these moments, because these moments could happen and they could completely pass you by, or you could even get frustrated like, oh man, the coffee shop is closed that I really like and I wanted to go there and work and now I can't, or like whatever it might be. You could get frustrated about these things, or you could see them as, okay, I'm on a new timeline. How do I want to meet this timeline? How do I want to show up on this timeline? And that is really what allows it to be a powerful manifestation moment, is when you see it as an opportunity for you to show up as your future self, rather than an opportunity for you to micromanage things and be frustrated and like, you know, reinforce this idea that things are going wrong. Use it to reinforce the idea that things are going well and that things are shifting and that the changes are positive and that the changes are good. And so combination of like something that you're observing, but also how you're meeting it. So you're observing the changes in your schedule, you're observing the changes in your plans, but it really comes down to how do you want to meet it and who do you want to be in this new scenario that you didn't anticipate being in. And if you can find a way to show up as your future self would, typically that might look like doing something that makes you nervous, doing something expansive, or it might look like doing something nourishing for yourself, pouring into yourself. And, you know, I'm not able to personally guide every single one of you. That's why I have clients. But one thing I will say is start to see it as an opportunity to show up as your future self. Okay, this was all that I wanted to say to you today. I also want to make sure that you keep an eye out because I'm going to be sharing a lot more about Moody and Magnetic. Moody and Magnetic is my signature trauma-informed manifestation program. It is an incredible experience. It is unlike anything else in the world. You get access to 25 manifestation trainings that go really deep into specific topics. So we have a module on the difference between worthiness and entitlement. So worthiness versus being entitled. And it really is there to help you have a healthy relationship with your desires and not talk yourself out of them and not worry that you're being like some entitled asshole because you are starting to expect the best in your life, right? Like a lot of people have that problem. And so I address that problem for like 45 minutes in a video. We have videos about healing your relationship with spirit. A lot of people hold grudges against the universe when things don't go their way, but you then simultaneously will try to manifest. And because manifestation is a co-creation between you and the divine, it gets very tricky when you do not trust the divine because you're disappointed about things that happened in the past. So we have a whole video on releasing grudges from the universe, knowing that spirit is on board with your desires and that spirit is not judging you or blocking you or trying to prevent you from manifesting the things that you want. So there's just so much juice in Moody and Magnetic, and I know that we have to talk about it more because literally I cannot put it all into one podcast episode. So I actually have a podcast series that's going to be coming out soon where I really just go deep into like, what is Moody and Magnetic? What are the kinds of things that we talk about in there? How would you know if this is the right next step for you? And then if you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me about whether or not Moody and Magnetic is your next step, then I am offering free consultations until November 24th. So if you're interested in Moody and Magnetic, I will leave all of the details down below this podcast so that you can start to check it out. And I really want to talk to every single person who's considering joining because I want to really make sure that the people coming in are the right people, honestly, and that, you know, the group is going to vibe well, and also just that like you're ready to do the work because Moody and Magnetic is a lot of work. I'll just say it that way. Like it is a transformative experience. It does require you to process emotions. It requires you to look at your relationship with the world, look at your relationship with life. You're going to be seeing things differently. You're going to be acting differently. And if you are not ready to go through a transformative journey, then Moody and Magnetic might not be right for you. So I want to have a conversation with everyone who is considering it. And so if you are thinking about Moody and Magnetic, book a consultation. Let's discuss. It's like a 30-minute call. We just discuss where you're at and just really to get a sense of, is Moody and Magnetic your next step? And so if you have any questions about Moody and Magnetic, also that's a good place to have that discussion on the consultation. So it's a bit of like Q&A. And then us determining, are you ready? Is Moody and Magnetic the right place for you? And so more to come on all of that. Like I said, the consultations are open until November 24th. And I am sending you a lot of love. Do not be afraid when your plans change. See it as a good thing. See it as an opportunity to show up as your future self. And I will see you again very soon in another episode. Mwah. Take care.